for tonight's big game between Tony's Binghamton Bearcats and my Northwestern Wildcats.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. I mean, booing Binghamton. I mean, most people here have no idea where Binghamton is.
No,
you can't boo. And this place is, it's nice, actually. I was going to say it was a dump, but it's not. It's really nice. This is what private school money can do.
That's
this
right.
is a big deal. This is really beautiful. Really beautiful. I wouldn't kid you about that. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls, from the mildly impressive Welsh Ryan Arena. In today's episode, the Packers lose. Ed Oliver has to take off his jacket, and Wilbon and I break down the big game between Binghamton and Northwestern. But we begin today with the virtual elimination of the Green Bay Packers from the playoffs. They lost last night, 27-24 in Seattle. Big Bears crowd here, you can tell. And today, people are looking back at two calls by Mike McCarthy. One, that he did not challenge this 34-yard catch or non-catch by Tyler Lockett in the fourth quarter, and 3 plays later, Seattle scored what turned out to be the winning touchdown. And 2, that McCarthy chose to punt the ball away with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go rather than ask Aaron Rodgers to get 2 yards. Green Bay never got the ball back. Wilbon, did McCarthy blow the game?
Tony, I don't think with the timeout. I mean, you're looking at it. If you don't think with your assistants in your ear that you've got conclusive evidence to reverse that call, then you got one timeout. You don't want to blow it. 4:20 left is a lot of time. I think punting the ball is fine at that point. Yes, you got Aaron Rodgers. Your defense is going to do something, but you think you're going to get the ball back. What's blowing it for the Packers to me is not having the personnel that are up to Aaron Rodgers' standard. He can't do enough with that personnel with 4 minutes left or a lot of time left.
If you are Green Bay, you have just watched Seattle score on you the go-ahead touchdown. You get the ball back at that point. The mythology of Aaron Rodgers is that he can make anything happen. I don't think you take the ball out of his hands with 2 yards. Absolutely, with 2 yards to go. Because the result of this, all the second guessing of Mike McCarthy, may very well mean at the end of the season, if they don't make the playoffs, that Mike McCarthy gets fired. And people are going to look at these 2 particular decisions, and they're going to say, well, in a time of crisis, he didn't even turn to the best quarterback active in football. You have to do it.
But if you're turning to the quarterback and he's been unable to do it, he and his ensemble,
he did not have a great game.
He didn't have a great game no matter what the numbers say. No matter
you're right.
How many yards
and on that third down, he threw the ball right into the
I think he said it's stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody has stick-em in 2018.
But there's nobody in football who carries the justified reputation of being able to come back in a hurry like Aaron Rodgers. Right. And if you've just seen your defense give up a touchdown, I think you keep the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands.
Are the Packers done?
Yeah, I think they're done right now.
We like that in this building, don't we?
I
like the Packers being done tonight. Let's move to the biggest soap opera in sports. The defending champion Warriors got obliterated last night by the Rockets in Houston. They don't like the Warriors either.
Well, they
the
like
margin
the Bulls.
was 21, but it felt more like 40. Still, all the principal Warriors were giggling at the end of the game. And Draymond Green cautioned people afterward, quote, "We're still going to win a bunch of games and win the championship," close quote. Telling the Warriors say they're in a better place. You believe that?
It's hard to see how that's true. They're pros. They will play together. They do have the best team. I think they will win the championship. When Steve Kerr says this, and we think Steve Kerr's a smart guy, this is a direct quote, "We are banged up spiritually." That's meaningful. Steve Kerr is saying this is more long-lasting than just a pat on the back from Draymond Green to Kevin Durant is going to be. And I think it will play out much more next year than this year. But what do you think?
I think it could play out this year. You want to see how quickly they can heal from this emotional battering they've been suffering
Why
from.
did they do this?
Well, okay. But
why did they do this publicly?
You and I don't understand this really.
Not at all.
Except that you're trying to placate Kevin Durant, and they value his presence potentially down the line more than they do Draymond Green. I know you presume that.
I do.
But let's look at this season right now. How long does it take them to pull out of this malaise? I think it could take a week or so. I don't think they'll be challenged in the West in terms of seeding,
no, they'll be fine.
Which could be important.
This is why I want to go to next year. Look, I remember telling you this 1,000 times with LeBron James, that once a guy moves once, he can move twice, he can move 3 times. Once Kevin Durant walked out on a team in Oklahoma City for a better deal for himself, and he's a great and selfless player, but he'll walk out again. What you've now put into play is Draymond Green wanting to walk out as well. So you have put like an egg timer on this team now. I'm not saying it would have lasted 7 years, but what they've done, they could have handled this in-house.
I agree.
They could have.
But you just said let's look down the road, so let's. So let's say that Kevin Durant decides to walk and go to, say, the Lakers.
They will go to the Lakers.
What's to prevent Kawhi Leonard from using up that money and going to Golden State?
But nothing in particular except that you always thought that he wanted to go to Los Angeles because he's from Los Angeles.
They're both going to go to Los Angeles.
I think there are ramifications to this that we haven't seen yet.
But you know what? NBA seasons are long.
They're long. They're long. And they're pros.
A lot of things unfold.
Last night, the University of Houston football coach Major Applewhite and his star defensive player Ed Oliver, who was a projected top 5 pick in the draft, really got into it on the sidelines. Oliver, who has been hurt and was not going to play last night against Tulane, was wearing a jacket that apparently only starters are supposed to wear. Applewhite told him to take it off and reached at the jacket to do so. Oliver reacted angrily and loudly. Wilbon, are you okay with what Applewhite did and how Oliver reacted?
I'm not okay with what Applewhite did, starting with the implementation of such a stupid rule. It sounds like something you'd have in day camp. It is offensively stupid and petty and immature and football-like, and that people like to just have rules. Let's have a rule. It's not like Oliver had on a cape and was Batman on the sideline. He had on a uniform jacket. And there's a problem with that. The problem is with the rules.
So what I agree that there are some rules that are smart and some rules are stupid, and this is in the stupid category. If you saw the pictures in the pregame, Oliver, who hasn't played in a few weeks, was out on the field and jumping and cavorting and actually looked healthy. And maybe in the back of his mind, the coach thought, this guy's not going to play for me. He's going to just wait for the draft.
Get him off the sideline, period.
Okay. So what you do here, I think it may hurt Oliver a little with the pros. I think it hurts Applewhite a lot more because I think it says to possible 5-star recruits, why do I want to go there? Do I want to be subject to these petty rules? Do I want a coach who doesn't treat me in a way, you know, with equality to my talent? I think the long-term bad effects may be worse with Major Applewhite. You know, and he played big-time football.
I think most kids who grew up in a football culture understand that they're going to have to deal with a lot of stupid rules. And it just seems like that particular place has what possible gains would you get?
Don't know.
What do you think this installs? Discipline? Instills discipline in your players because you got the wrong coat on? We don't like that coat?
So what happens, what I think a smarter coach would have done is gone to an assistant and said, I don't want to get involved in this personally. But maybe you take that coat off him. But now it looks like they were separated from an actual fight.
Yeah, it does.
That's a very bad look,
as they say.
It's a bad look.
Tony, I've had
That's a nice look, by the way. That is nice.
I've had enough of this. You like this?
Hall of Fame.
My Hall of Fame patch?
Hall of Fame. That's patch. Really sweet.
I've had enough of this rules talk. Let's talk about what will be by far the biggest college football game of the weekend, not counting Northwestern Minnesota. Tomorrow at Yankee Stadium, Syracuse versus Notre Dame. Like we got some boos from Notre Dame in here. You like that?
Yeah.
The home team is undefeated, home team. Third-ranked Notre Dame. While Syracuse, which could be undefeated, as well is 8-2 and ranked 12th. Last I checked, Tony, Syracuse is actually in New York.
Yes,
a lot of orange people know how to find the Bronx. Are you smelling upset?
I'm not. I mean, I think Syracuse is good. And I think Syracuse went into the fourth quarter, deep in the fourth quarter, with a lead against Clemson.
They had Clemson beat.
So I think they're a good team. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, they beat Clemson, and the year before they beat Virginia Tech when these teams were ranked. So I'm not selling them short at all. I think Ian Book coming back is a big deal for Notre Dame. And when you talk about the geography of New York, having grown up there, Syracuse is in New York State. But Notre Dame has always had the hearts of people in the New York City area and throughout.
Why? Because they couldn't get their own football?
Subway alums. That's what they were always called, Subway alums.
Notre Dame is about an hour that way.
For reasons that I can't explain, but that I grew up with, people in New York love Notre Dame. This will be a home game for Notre Dame. Don't worry about that. Oh, you got them losing.
I got Syracuse winning the game.
Yeah.
I think Syracuse had Clemson beaten. And I think Clemson's the only school left or that will be in the Final Four that could beat Alabama. So I think that Syracuse matching up with
and they're
Clemson
fabulous on special teams. They flip the field as good or better than any team in football.
They're like 2 plays away from undefeated themselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I like Syracuse. Is the crowd going to be 50-50? Is it going to be 75% Notre Dame? What do you think it's going to be?
Oh, I think it'll be 75. I mean, I do. It's just going to be a home game for them. I don't think that really matters. But I think you need to confess to the people here that you have a tremendous animus against 2 teams. One is Michigan, which you hate, and one is Notre Dame, which you hate. So you're happy. You're happy when Notre Dame loses.
I don't hate either one of them. It's like hating the Cardinals and the Packers. I admire them, and yes, I hate them because they're the rivals of my teams. if Syracuse wins this game,
big deal game.
it shakes up a lot of stuff
Oh, yeah, it
potentially, doesn't it?
It certainly gives Michigan a far better chance to get into the playoffs.
I don't know how I feel about that either.
Jerry Rice is probably the greatest wide receiver of all time. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. So his opinion of quarterbacks carries weight. Rice caught passes from Joe Montana and Steve Young, who are in the Hall of Fame, both of them. And Jerry Rice is not sure that Eli Manning belongs in their company. Rice told 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area, and I'm quoting here, "What I see with Eli Manning, there's not consistency. I would think that Drew Brees is going to be a shoo-in. Eli, there's a chance of him getting in, but I'm not going to say he's a true Hall of Famer," unquote. That's a blast. That's a blast. Wilbon, do you agree with Rice?
I agree with part of what he said. He doesn't have the kind of consistency of other quarterbacks who are either in the Hall of Fame or going in. He's had those 2 great runs that produced Super Bowl. And by the way,
wild card teams.
2 Super Bowl MVPs,
Yeah.
one more than his more illustrious brother.
That's right.
Okay, there's another guy who's got 2 Super Bowls and 8 playoff wins, and Eli has 8.
Jim Plunkett.
Jim Plunkett.
Not
He's not in.
He's not in. So it's not an
Dan
automatic.
Marino has 1, and he has 8 playoff. No, he has none, and he has
none.
8 playoff wins. So what is it we value? And I used to have a vote in that room, and I think I would vote for him. I think the 3 greatest football players ever are Jim Brown, Walter Payton, and Jerry Rice. And what Jerry Rice says ought to carry great weight.
It carries weight. I suspect that it can be blunted in this way. Peyton Manning will get in more quickly than anybody else because the day he's eligible, he gets in. Right. Well, no. Right now, Brady, Rodgers, and Breeze are locks.
They're all locks.
Now, I think Roethlisberger will eventually get in. I'm not. I don't think he's a first ballot guy.
You don't?
But when you look at Eli Manning, what helps him is Peyton will get in. The entire Manning family thing with Archie will help him, and he's got the 2 Super Bowls. What hurts him a little bit, his career record, if I have this right, is 113 and 110.
He could wind up under 500.
And at the moment, he is active number 1 with 234 interceptions. That's a lot of interceptions.
So if you had a vote.
If I'm sitting in that room because you took 2 wild cards there and you won it and you were the MVP both times, I'm going to put you in. But if somebody says no, and if Jerry Rice says no, in that room that carries weight.
I think a lot of people will feel like Jerry Rice. I always thought Jim Plunkett should be in. Many of the same credentials. You're wrong about Roethlisberger. First ballot. He's got 2. He may get a 3rd. Well, Roethlisberger could wind up with a 3rd Super Bowl champion.
He's got 2 also. Let's take a break. Coming up, I will tell you why Northwestern, why do I have to say this, is going down tonight on this very court on which we sit.
And then I will set this delusional old fool straight.
That's right. You know what they say in the movies? It's not your night, kid.
Pardon the Interruption is brought to you by Instant Family. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
It's time for toss-up. Here's how it works. Wilbon presents one point of view, and I present the correct one. Let's get the first one from the producer over the loudspeaker.
Toss-up, better area, New York or Chicago?
Let me just say, I love it here. It is great to be in a city that has one of the great institutions of academic higher learning in the world, the University of Chicago. I'm happy to be here. Binghamton is not exactly in New York City. We're suburban New York City if you consider 180 miles away. 180 miles away. Suburban. We are known, that's the southern tier area of New York. We are known as the Harvard of the southern tier. We're also known as the Cornell of Broome County because Cornell is actually in Tioga County. So that's all I'm saying about my school. That's it.
We got better pizza.
You have no pizza. You have deep dish pizza.
Right now, we got a much better football team, and it's the first time I'm saying that.
We have no football team.
The Jets and the Giants. Yeah. My goodness. We got a better ballpark even. Yankee Stadium with that 240-foot distance down the right field line. Wrigley Field's much better than that.
Nice job out of you.
Listen, I love both Chicago and New York. I don't want to fight that fight. We got better pizza. Better pizza.
Your pizza's awful.
Next. What's next?
Toss up better mascot, the Bearcat or the Wildcat?
So this is a true story. When I went to school, we were not the Bearcats. When I went to school, we were the Colonials, not the bad Colonials, not the political Colonials, just the house.
Were there any other kind?
No, just the house. The Colonial art. We were an architecture mascot, so we couldn't move any product in the bookstore. So we hired a consulting firm. Seriously, paid them $100,000 to give us a new nickname, an action figure, and they gave us Cincinnati's. They gave us the Bearcats. So that's all I can say about that.
We had in a Wildcat uniform, Willie the Wildcat, the one and only Emmy Award-winning Craig Sager.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the argument, right?
Yeah. No.
With Craig Sager.
But you know what?
Wildcat costume, which is somewhere around
Do you know there are 27 different colleges that are Wildcats?
Wildcats, a lot of them.
That's really tremendous. I mean, how do you differentiate yourself from the others? Next.
Toss up better color, green or purple?
Green is a beautiful color. Green is the color of the earth, which is important. Green is the color of money, and Binghamton is money when we play a team like you, especially if we get 37.5 points.
You're not getting 37 and
I
a
think
half.
we are. And Binghamton is green rather is the color of Ireland, which is the ancestral home of Tommy Dempsey, our coach. But
That's
purple's
very
nice. I got to give you.
Purple
it's nice.
is the color of royalty.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. And just to prove it, Meghan Markle, now royalty, is a purple alum. All right?
Yeah, okay, but wait a second. In Binghamton
Purple.
proper, King Rice is from Binghamton.
King Rice went to North Carolina. He didn't even stay home.
King Rice.
What are
If you're talking about
about
royalty, King Rice is
we know
royalty.
purple. Is there any other stadium that would dare put just green
Next.
out there? No,
Next.
nobody wants to see.
Toss up better alumni, Binghamton or
Oh,
Northwestern?
no. I know that Northwestern has very distinguished alumni like Darren Ravel. Very distinguished. We have so many people that this is what we have. We have Billy Baldwin. I don't think I have to go on from Billy Baldwin. We have Paul Reiser. We have somebody who is spiritually and economically important in this country. Flo from Progressive Insurance. She can insure your RV.
I
That's
will
who we
give
got.
Flo a round of applause.
That's who we got.
I'm just going to start. I said Meghan Markle, perhaps the most famous woman now on earth. Perhaps the Duchess of Sussex. You got a Duchess?
We have King Rice, I told you.
We got Anne Margaret. You don't want to argue with
You
that.
promised me she'd
Anne
come
Margaret.
to this.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
We got late night on Monopoly, right?
do.
On lockdown. Stephen Colbert and Seth Meyers.
You got that. You got that.
We got the face of Cindy Crawford. You want to fight it out? We got Jerry Springer.
Very nice.
Huh?
You can have Jerry.
We got Pharrell.
Next.
We got Daryl Morey.
Next.
Huh?
Next.
Last one, toss up who's winning tonight, Binghamton or Northwestern?
So it's true, we have had some tough tests lately. We lost to the New Jersey Institute of Technology, but we held them to 17 points. And we rebounded against, I think, a D5 school, Misericordia, and beat them by over 40. Misericordia.
Tell me where
Beat them.
Misericordia is.
It's in the United States of America, which is all you have to know. We've been to as many NCAAs as you have, but I will concede you're a Power 5. You got a chance.
A chance?
You got a chance.
Really?
You might actually turn this green if we beat you.
We need to just come out and just stomp on you so
Well-
I can look at you at that table and laugh at you. No, in all seriousness, we should win this game. We're a Big Ten school with aspirations. Chris Collins has recruited an athletic and deep team
Should be great.
that I look forward to seeing down the road all the way into
The NCAAs.
late March.
That's it. Go Bearcats. Let's take one last break, but still to come. Christian Yelich beats Wilbon's favorite, Javi Baez, for the MVP. Yes.
And UConn's new coach gets an emotional win over Syracuse.
Oh, they don't hate Syracuse here.
No, we don't hate
Oh,
Syracuse.
that's good.
Now, Medill doesn't like Newhouse.
Right, that's what I would think.
This is a large 3-topping pizza from Domino's. You can carry one out for...
Magazine these days.
Hey, you want me to autograph that for you?
Happy time,
I can
people.
do that.
Happy 19th birthday, Bowl Bowl. The alliteratively named Bowl is the son of Manute Bowl, who Mike and I both covered and who was picked in the same draft as Muggsy Bogues, which meant that the then Washington Bullets picked one guy 7-7 and one guy 5-3 on consecutive picks, a Barnum and Bailey draft. The young Bowl is 7'2". He's currently averaging 17.5 points, 12 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks per game for Oregon.
Wingspan 7'6". I played pickup games against Manute Bowl.
How'd you do?
On the Bullets. He wasn't allowed inside the arc. That's how he developed his three-point shooting. I'm not kidding.
He was very good. A not-so-happy anniversary to NBC around this day 50 years ago. The network decided to switch away from the end of a game between the Oakland Raiders and New York Jets to a holiday showing of Heidi. This is the infamous Heidi game. What viewers got was a lovely Swiss fairy tale, and what they missed was the Raiders scoring twice in 9 seconds to win. Nice call, production staff.
So that wasn't the game. They didn't miss the Holy Roller. That was a different game.
No, that's a different game.
All right.
Entire-
This game is...
The Raiders have all the
This
important
Super Bowl
games.
is not as famous as this game.
Yeah, the Raiders are in all the famous games early. Happy trails to Syracuse. The 15th ranked Orangemen were beaten last night by unranked UConn. You will see new UConn coach Danny Hurley so ecstatic that he first chest bumps, then slaps one of his players in glee. There will be no such treatment for Jim Boeheim. Hurley gathers himself and calmly shakes Jim's hand, or else Jim would have put Hurley in the blue seats.
Did they misspell Boeheim's
His
name?
kid.
His kid on the,
His kid. Crazy bad.
He's only been at Syracuse, what,
Crazy
60
bad.
years?
Let's go and find out what we messed up, and we go to the rafters and Celebrity Stat Boy and Northwestern Professor J.A. Adonde.
Yeah, J.A.
Hey, thanks for the seat, guys. I thought we were friends. One omission, the Ravens have listed Joe Flacco as doubtful for Sunday's game. And one final thought, go Wildcats!
Really quickly to the big finish.
Do it.
Kristen Yelich and Mookie Betts win MVPs. Mike Trout finished second in the AL again. Your thoughts?
That's about what we thought. How can you go against Betts? You certainly can't go against him. Sports Illustrated is reporting Les Miles is finalizing a deal to become head coach at Kansas. You like that,
Tough to win there. He's a good coach.
He's going to win more than zero there.
USC students spray painted the UCLA Bruin statue gold and red. Is that fair or foul?
I think all that spray painting stuff, it's okay. You do that at college, right?
I don't know.
Binghamton, we might spray
paint a
purple.
dog.
LeBron's high school Humvee will go to auction next month. Humvee. Blue Book value, 18 grand. What's it going to go for?
What was he doing with the Humvee in high school?
You know.
Last one. Are you and all these people here ready to have your night ruined by the Bearcats?
Give me a final score.
37 and a half. We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
Wildcats 70, Bearcats 48. I'm Mike Wilbon.